Good morning from New York realm. This is East New York, Cypress Hills houses here on Euclid Avenue. And I'm going to do a little, what can I call this? A vintage City of Yes report. Because I just noticed something here while riding through town. Yeah, check it out. There's a little plaque there. On the wall here by the management office, and yeah, look at this. You know, actually, I never seen one of these on one of these buildings, but yeah, check this out. It has the record of how this was created. Here it is. It was built by NYCHA and in cooperation with the state of New York. Thomas Dewey, governor, and the commissioner of housing was Herman Stickman. Mayor was Wagner. And we had borough presidents back then too. And here's the people in charge of the housing authority at the time. There are the architects and the builders in the years. This building is built in 1954, so if you think about it, it really isn't that old. But you know what's amazing? You know what I really like about this? I mean, it's made of brick. I mean, can't get any more everlasting than that. But you know, unfortunately, you know, even though it looks sturdy outside, the thing is, it's been neglected. A lot of what's inside has been neglected for you know, decades and stuff like that. And well, the thing is, you know, the city has failed to maintain these buildings. But what I find interesting is that you know, the federal, like the federal, there's no like federal. Things on. There's like no federal people on this plaque here, you know, because you know who runs the public housing, like a lot of funding, where a lot of funding comes from. It's from HUD. It's from the Fed, and it kind of explains maybe that's the really the true root cause of the neglect of these buildings. Here's another thing I kind of thought about how this compares to the housing. Make that the public housing that the city has built in the last decade and a half through the so-called Housing Connect Affordable Housing Lottery. Yeah, I don't see any, like, you know what's interesting about those buildings? There are, like, no plaques like this, of, like, who built it, who are the architects, like, who the owners, who the developers and shit. Nah, no information at all. That's what I like about this one. All the information's on here. And the thing about this is, you know, there'd be a lot more accountability if you know, if every building had like stuff like this. But I guess because it's you know, this is government built, that's why it has to have more credibility on it. But this shows that there was a time where we had a city of yes, but it focused on the people, mainly all the people, especially the poor people who had you know, who had difficulty getting housing at the time, who had difficulty affording to find a place to live, and that's why all these people here came up with this public housing thing, and they built a lot of it. They built a lot of housing. There's like thousands of NYCHA buildings all over the 5 boroughs. But it's so fucking crazy how they just haven't been able to maintain them. And of course there are discussions right now in the Mandani administration to tear down a bunch of NYCHA buildings, and it may bleed over here. It may just fucking come to this neighborhood too. There's another thing about the luxury public housing towers. You know, the thing is, the city should have their names on all those buildings too. You know, like so and so, this building, this luxury public housing tower that was built in Jamaica, like the Crossing. That got done during de Blasio. That should have Bill de Blasio's name on it. Bill de Blasio, mayor, and yeah, we wouldn't have the state on it because the state didn't build that shit. It was the city. It was the city that fucking approved it. The city planned that rezone and upzone to get that built. But I have a feeling the state. The thing is, the state of New York did build housing near here. It's actually by Spring Creek, and they built tons of housing. But you know what's interesting about that? and it's amazing when you fucking ride or drive by there, because there's tons of housing there. The thing is, like, I don't think that would have all existed if Amazon didn't move to the neighborhood, because Amazon is a huge freaking complex over there. And there's also a big strip mall there, not strip mall, a big mall there, Gateway Mall. Every fucking brand, every retail store you can think of, and tons of restaurants. It's really a success story by Spring Creek, but it never gets mentioned because even though it's like a 15-minute city, but the thing is, it never gets mentioned because people drive cars around there to get around. It's still a wide, expansive place, but but it's interesting how, like, how NYCHA, still having problems all these years, and it looks like the new towers with the 20% affordable, which is basically public housing like this, except with market rate apartments. Yeah, they're just not getting the care. And the new ones, let me tell you something, the new apartments, the new buildings that went up during the de Blasio and Adams eras, they're not getting much care either. And that's all she wrote. This is New York Realm in Puny City, now more than ever. Oh, I should actually mention the Cypress Hills houses. It starts here and goes all the way to Linden Boulevard. That's how huge the Cypress Hills housing is. The housing building complex is. Very huge. Okay, well, it is. It's not like we don't still take care of our buildings, because we got the hot water heating system upgrades. Oh dear. Project is set for completion in 2022. I don't know why I wonder if it actually got done. Really, maybe we should call them to see if it's actually finished. But that's another thing I forgot to mention. Because the NYCHA is owned by HUD, the fund, for some reason, the federal funding is not getting here. And there's actually there's a pretty good reason for that. It's because we put more billions and trillions of dollars into the Pentagon. Basically, and in a way, we're just building more housing for soldiers for like a temporary basis, than building housing for poor people who live here full time. This is New York Realm in Puny City, now more than ever. There you go. Euclid to Linden. A little more housing in the neighborhood. This is the old city of Yes. Because poor working class people needed housing, and the city knew they had to provide it. Tell you the truth, it's like I think it shows they gave a shit more back then than the so-called progressives do today, which includes you too, Mayor Mandani. Yikes. Boulevard, back in the days of the Boulevard of Linden. Look at that. Look at all that housing there. Look at all that housing. A little more housing in the neighborhood. A little more housing in the neighborhood. Look at all that housing. Look at all that housing. City of Yes. The olden city of Yes. City of Yes Mach 1. Public housing. Real affordable housing. That's the Linden Boulevard projects right there. I think that's Mitchell Lama, I believe. That was the old city of Yes. Yes for the people. Not for the greedy real estate developers like today.